The 21st of October 2017, Fernando Alonso described his lost mileage at the Circuit of the Americas on Friday as quite painful, having planned to test a range of new developments. Alonso's car was struck by a hydraulic issue in FP1, which required lengthy repair work, restricting him to just 4 laps, none of which were timed. He experienced a smoother FP2, racking up 28 laps, but lamented having to cram his Friday program into one session, with updates for 2018 to evaluate. "We lost the first session because of an hydraulic issue, which was quite painful because we had several items to test, including for next year," said Alonso. "We tried to catch up in the second session, but it was difficult, so I think we'll try them again in Mexico." Alonso is nonetheless optimistic over his chances this weekend, after placing 7th in FP2, behind only the Mercedes, Red Bull and Ferrari drivers. "I believe there's still quite a bit to get out of the car, still some tenths to find, which I think probably everyone will find," he commented. "We know Max Verstappen and Nico Hülkenberg have penalties, so if we manage to get into Q3, we'll be able to start from an even better position. But if we don't make it into Q3, and we can start 8th or 9th on new tires, it could be very good too." Alonso's teammate, Stoffel Vandoorne, ended the day 15th on the timesheets, and will also take a grid penalty for fitting a new internal combustion engine. Latest news: 0646 Moto 644 Marc Marquez put himself on the brink of a 4th Moto title after prevailing in an epic Australian Grand Prix, which Moto 530 Moto 406 reigning Formula One world champion turned vlogger and pundit Nico Rosberg displays his various personas in this advertisement. F10231 F10229 F10227 Max Verstappen says he was very angry over his showing in the final phase of qualifying for the United States Grand Prix. F10048 Sebastian Vettel has heaped praise on Ferrari after significant car changes contributed to him claiming a front-row start for F10042 Lance Stroll has also been given a grid penalty of 3 places for the United States Grand Prix after blocking Romain Grosjean. F10011 Kevin Magnussen has been hit with a notional 3-place grid drop for the United States Grand Prix after impeding Sergio Perez. F1 2359 Lewis Hamilton reckons it is highly unlikely that he will secure a 4th world title at the United States Grand Prix, given F1 2310 F1 2302 Lewis Hamilton stormed to pole position for the United States Grand Prix, ahead of title rival Sebastian Vettel, building on a F1 2145 F1 2040 Fernando Alonso has suggested that he would like to compete at next year's Daytona 24 Hours, having renewed with McLaren and F1 1928. Take a look behind the scenes with Ferrari in the paddock and garage at the Circuit of the Americas, ahead of the United States. F1 1803 F1 1801 Formula One Championship leader Lewis Hamilton completed a practice clean sweep by topping FP3 for the United States Grand Prix. F1 1741 Red Bull's Max Verstappen is set to receive a 15-place grid penalty after taking on new power unit components at the United F1 1645 F1 1426 Texas Longhorns mascot Hook M visits the Red Bull Racing garage ahead during the 2017 United States Grand Prix at the circuit. F1 1312 Toro Rosso debutant Brendan Hartley believes he made substantial progress over the course of Friday's practice sessions in the F1 1224 Marc Marquez insists he still has to be wary of title rival Andrea Dovizioso, despite the Ducati rider struggling for pace. Moto 1102 watches Lucas Di Grassi, Sebastian Buemi, Nelson Piquet Jr. and Luca Filippi demonstrate Formula E machinery around the Phaeton 18 Sauber tester Charles Leclerc says getting accustomed to Formula One's power steering is the major challenge he faces compared to F10938 Super Formula officials have cancelled Sunday's doubleheader finale at Suzuka due to the impending arrival of Typhoon Lan. SF0934 watches Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen get a taste of American football as they train with the Del Valle Cardinals ahead. F10824 Michelin will remain as Moto's sole tire supplier through to 2023 after agreeing a new deal with series officials. Michelin, Moto 734 Fernando Alonso described his lost mileage at the Circuit of the Americas on Friday as quite painful, having planned to test a F10604 Moto 603 Marc Marquez put in a stunning lap to claim pole position for the Australian Grand Prix, with title rival Andrea Dovizioso only. Moto 532 Mercedes aerodynamicist Kimberly explains how she handles a whole range of external influences at her home race in Austin, with F1 2248 F1 2242 Ferrari's Sebastian Vettel believes more performance can be extracted from the SF70H after enduring a difficult start to the F1 2236 Lewis Hamilton says that he built a solid platform on the first day of practice for the United States Grand Prix, as he pushes. F1 2221 Daniel Ricciardo says he has no concerns over driver parity at Red Bull moving forward, in the wake of Max Verstappen's F1 2135 F1 2133 Lewis Hamilton remained at the top of the timesheets during Friday afternoon's second practice session for the United States, F1 1943 F1 1845 Williams has been handed a reprimand and a suspended fine for breaching tire regulations during the opening practice session for F1.